Welcome to Soundbreaker. I'm your host, Bob Shammy, and we're about to break the silence. Join me as we go behind the scenes and meet some of the most influential names in the music industry. Get ready for remarkable success stories that break the norms and defy the odds. From dreams to success, from challenges to victory. An exclusive backstage pass into the lives of music trailblazers as they create their own path to success. This is Soundbreaker. Hey everyone, welcome to Soundbreaker. On today's episode, we're talking to Eddie O'Loughlin, who is a groundbreaker in the music industry. Thank you for joining us. For listeners who might not be familiar with Eddie or with you, could you please introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about what do you do? And obviously, we're going to continue more and more and more. We don't want to all dump it in one question.
Fine. Thank you for having me, Bob.
My pleasure.
I feel good being interviewed by you because you are an industry professional. You have great experience, so I feel safe with you. And sometimes I do interviews with people. I think they came in the music business 3 days ago. I know I'm in good hands, so thank you to you.
Thank you. It's all about you, but thank you for putting some light on me. Thank you.
and to your producer, Ash, as well.
Ash, amazing.
Great. So good. So thank you. So my name is Eddie O'Loughlin. I'm in the music business for decades. I'm a music producer. That's a person that either goes into the studio or finds talent and brings them into the studio. I'm also a record company owner, which is my job is to find talent and bring them into the studio and market the talent and promote the talent, distribute the talent. And I'm also a music publisher. That's the person who finds songs and songwriters and tries to get those songs more popularized through jingles or try to get other people to record them. So there's kind of slight nuances to each level, but each level is basically the same. Find exceptional commercial talent. That's been my job forever.
That's the key. Great. That is fantastic. Okay. I mean, it's great to have you, obviously. Can we dive into it? How did you get started, or what got you started in the music industry?
Well, the easy answer is I was interested in music. Very interested, had a great passion for music, but so do a lot of people. But for some unfortunate reason, I was a sick child. And I was homebound from age 7 to about 11. And I wasn't able to play sports.
Why?
I went because
if you don't mind me asking. If you don't mind sharing.
I had a bronchial issue, which was pneumonia. And it was continual. It went on for about 3-4 years. Penicillin saved my life. And I was able to carry on. But while being a sick child, I was limited to just my schoolwork the teachers would bring by, or I'd go to school occasional as well. And I would read. I became an intense reader, and I would listen to the radio. And while listening to the radio, I would recognize, this is in the 50s. This is in the mid-50s. I'm a little boy. And I would hear certain songs played again. And this was like a eureka. Like, they just played this 4 hours ago. Why did they play it again? And I started keeping track of when they would play these songs. And I would notice a pattern of some songs are played more than others. So my interest in music was inspired at that young age, probably by accident, I guess. Who knows what we're born with. Another thing, my mother and father did not get along. How sad, but they didn't. The only time they did was Saturday night, and Saturday night was music night. My father played the piano, my mother sang all day. She made the cold cuts, the potato salads, the macaroni salad, whatever. 30, 40 relatives, neighbors would come into our very small home, but they'd pack in and they'd sing. And I recognized that Saturday and Saturday night is a time for truce. Mom and dad got along. I wanted to unconsciously get involved with how does that happen? And the commonality was music. So there I
Wow.
go.
Wow. It definitely a soundbreaker at the age of 11. That's what the show's about. At the age of 11 and self-taught. No school, none of that.
No,
Self-taught. That is amazing.
yes,
And that's what we thrive
self-interested,
for. Yes, yes, yes.
self-interest. That's yes.
Very interesting story. Really interesting and inspiring. I think for everybody, for all our listeners out there, all the young people who want to get involved in the music business. Eddie, you've been a pioneer in both hip hop world and EDM genres. In
Mhm.
your opinion, how did these impact the industry as a whole?
Well, every genre, every new genre that comes by that people are attracted to, um, just brings new life and new feeling and new blood. So maybe it was big bands 100 years or 60 years ago, 100 years ago, whether
Hmm.
it be the Beatles and Led Zeppelin and the Stones. Um, Young people are searching for their identity and their sound. So disco morphed into electronic dance music, which was a little more aggressive, a little more punchy. Um, Hip hop resonated as a culture movement
Yes,
and presented thoughts and ideas that stimulated many cultures. So they
true.
were both both the genres really have had great impact, life changing, the way the Beatles had and rock had a great impact. So
Yes.
each genre goes like that. The remarkable thing about hip hop is when I first got involved with hip hop because I just liked it and it was so much fun and just party and great. Was I Nobody really suspected 50 years later we're still excited about hip hop. So that's a
True.
phenomenon that nobody can
Yes.
predict. And
No,
dance music
absolutely.
and dance music in 19 I went to the first clubs in 73, 1974. Um, Still
Disco
going.
days. Yes,
Yeah,
yes. That's what
but
started the era.
it
Absolutely.
started the era. I was very
Yeah.
fortunate to sign the very
Yes.
first two. I signed the very first two Euro hits in America, Fly Robin Fly by Silver Convention, number one
Ooh,
pop
are you kidding
mainstream,
me? It's a major hit.
and
Yes.
Get Up and Boogie, which went to number
My
two.
favorite. Amazing. Wow.
Fun record. Thank you.
Hmm.
But those are the first two European hits. And
Yes.
that morphed into electronic dance music that we have today.
Yes. Yes. Correct. Um, you played a significant role in the making of one of the biggest stars in our time, right? Jennifer Lopez, J Lo, in El Mismo Sol. Am I pronouncing it right? El
Yeah,
Mismo Sol. Yes.
El Mismo Soul.
El
Yes.
Mismo Sol. Yeah.
Yeah,
Collaboration and success. Yes. Yes.
I almost said C. I'm talking Spanish to you, which I don't even talk. But at any rate,
Um, uh, can you share that story behind this collaboration and and what was it like working with an international superstar like Jennifer Lopez also?
okay, so here's the story.
Two in one.
Many of these stories have the same background. It's seated and deep seated in excitement about the music. That's the
Yes,
main thing. So
absolutely.
a song comes. A friend of mine in Germany sends me a
Hmm.
song that was recorded in Spain by Alvaro Soler called El Mismo Sol, the Sun. So I hear the song, I heard the song, I loved it, thought it was great. In
Hmm.
Spanish, we have a large Spanish market in America. I thought the song could do really well. I played it for my partner, Monty Littman, who runs a company called Republic Records,
Montelitman, yes.
the number one
Hmm.
most successful record company in America for the past 9, 10 years.
Absolutely.
And he brought the song to Jennifer Lopez, and she loved it, and that's how that happened.
Amazing.
Yes,
Wow.
and the stars have to align. Okay, this is a
Yes.
story that could be told 50 times with different songs, different artists that go nowhere. This went somewhere, but it just aligned up. Monty happened to been with Jennifer. Jennifer happened to just be in the mood for this. Who knows how this kind of stuff happens, but it did, and it became a very good success. It did very, very well
So
in
you're
many
saying
countries.
your timing was perfect with that, the timing and the good relationship with Monty.
Correct, absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes. Uh, what qualities in Salt-N-Pepa did you recognize during your early work with them, and how do you believe they shaped the hip hop genre?
Well, I loved meeting Salt-N-Pepa. I'll never forget the day they came into my
Uh
office in early May of 1986
huh.
with
Uh
their brilliant producer, who I didn't know was brilliant. He was just a nice young guy, Herbie Azor, Herbie Lovebug Azor. Um, I didn't know females were generally not successful in hip hop. They were considered not to be able to be successful. I didn't know that rule book. I just knew I liked them, and I liked Herbie. And the
Yes.
three of them were just great. And I liked the way they were thinking. It was female empowerment. And I thought that's a message that could probably resonate. You know, none of us know before we sign talent
Hmm.
where it's going to go, but it just felt like an important message. And I would like to be part of that. And I asked if they liked me, and they said they did. And I said, and I like you. And do you want to, it's like Mickey Rooney movie almost. I said, do you want to make some records together? And they said, yeah, we're down. And that happened. And we had wound up with about 10, 12 years of hits. I don't know how many, maybe
So
20 top 10 hits, five huge albums, uh, enormous run worldwide of great success because they were great. Herbie was great. They turned out to be great songwriters, and they were hard workers. And we were all lucky to be part of history in a positive way.
absolutely. I mean, I would give you credit also for uh, kind of giving women empowerment in the hip hop world. You give the startup, like you were the startup for
Yeah.
that, I would say, that movement. Wow.
I was glad to be a part of that. I had a female partner named Janine Leclerc. She
Uh huh.
was my female partner, very unusual those days, and she was a full partner. I had a strong mother. I had a strong mother, and I think that was just very comfortable to be around strong women. My
Yes.
wife was very strong woman. My wife, very strong woman, became a doctor, PhD.
Uh huh.
And we started just young from nothing at 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, so strong women were comfortable with me. And Salt and
Yeah.
Pepper was strong and in a really great way.
Amazing. You know, I find in every answer, every question, a lot of inspiration, I would say, for everybody. I mean, this is
Hmm,
what Soundbreak and the music business is about. Stories like yourself,
hmm.
amazing, just like that. You
Good.
know, the way you started and
I,
how you help others and help talent, and you come across and
hmm,
how do you look at everything.
hmm. I hope it
Yes,
could be helpful to people.
it
It's
absolutely.
it's a very nice story, and it happens in America. That's what's great about it.
Yes, yes, the American Dream.
Yeah.
You're part of the Emmy-winning award show, The Voice. Can you tell
Yes.
us about the process of selecting music and for the
Hmm.
show, and what role you play in it?
I was in Holland probably 12 years ago, having lunch with a dear friend of mine, Peter van Bodegraven. He told me about a brand new show in Holland, The Chairs Turn. He showed me the tape. It had just gone on the air. Maybe it was on the air 2 weeks in Holland. It was starting to be successful. And it just seemed like, even though the language was Dutch, the songs were Dutch, I couldn't understand a word. It just seemed like the concept is something that could be successful in other countries. They, at that point, the producers of the show, wanted to expand into Luxembourg.
Hmm.
I felt the show could go anywhere, but I wasn't an experienced television producer, but I had blinders on. And I felt this, I think this could be success in America. I don't fully know. I called Monty Littman at Republic.
Hmm.
I explained this could, I feel this could be very, very successful. And I sent him an email, and he loves to talk about it. And in the email was block letters, big letters. This is the most important property I've ever brought you. I've ever brought to you. And I checked the list down. Chairs turning, great songs, great singers. It's worth a chance. He jumped on it in 2, 3 hours. A deal was made with the
Wow.
producers of The Voice, the Universal Republic, to get the world rights to the music. And I
Mm.
was named as head of A&R, artist and repertoire, the person who makes records with contestants and the winners a number
So
of
you
years.
bought the show to America. You're the one who found it and actually bought it, put it in their lap.
The music rights,
Yes.
the television production was a different negotiation going on with
Yeah.
various networks.
Yeah.
I was not part of that. I was part of where where I always am on the music side. I was excited that this is a vehicle to let people meet new artists, and I had no idea it was going to be the phenomenon that it is.
Amazing. Very interesting story again. Very interesting. You're an interesting man, definitely, Eddie. You really are.
Well,
uh,
the people
Go ahead.
tell me this. People say, "Oh, you're very interesting." No, you know what I am? I'm a person who shows up every day. I
That's
show
it.
up. That's what I do, and I show up with a curiosity. It's kind of simple in that way.
You're consistent and you're always evolving and adapting.
I hope, and I look to do that. I want to hear
Yes.
from new people. I love young
Yes.
people. What's their ideas? And rule breaker like this. This might be very, very good. Let's see if. And many of the ideas don't
Yes.
develop. They're
Yes.
good ideas that just meander off. But then occasionally you get these lucky ones. And good.
Early in our conversation, we talked about your involvement in electronic music and hip hop. How do you think these genres will continue to evolve? Will continue to evolve for the future?
Well, they will evolve. I'm not 100% clear, but it's already evolved. As we talked about disco, which is four on the floor at one point
Correct.
with a band. It's
Yes.
evolved into, although Giorgio Moroder kind of created the electronic dance not division, genre with Donna
Genre.
Summer, and it
Yes.
developed from there. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't. It's usually every 10 years. Where are we now? 23? Okay. It's usually every
Yes.
10th year there's a new movement. So, in
When did this whole thing started with
yeah,
Avicii? That was a new era of the sound of dance music, electronic, but he took it to a different
yeah,
level, I would say.
yeah, he opened it up for many others. Let's
Yes.
see.
Yes.
We're in 2023.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was '05 or 10.
Uh,
I forget. I don't know.
I'll tell you when that big thing
No.
came out.
All right. Well,
I
when
would
he,
say no. I would say no later. No, what are you talking about? It
yeah,
came out
okay.
later. Yeah, yeah. I would say in the early like 2011, I think,
Okay.
12,
All right.
something like this. Yeah.
It used to be, I don't know if it's true any longer. It used to be every 10th year. So you have Frank Sinatra, crooners
Yes.
in the mid 40s.
Yeah.
In the mid 50s, you have rock breaking through with Elvis and Carl Perkins and Roy Orbison. In the mid 60s, you have the English invasion. In the mid 70s, you have disco breaking. I mean, it starts a few years earlier, but by 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, hip hop emerges. 95,
Yes.
it's boy bands.
Yes. Yes.
2005, I don't know, maybe everybody was sleeping. I don't know what happened in '05, really. Just not sure still trying to figure what happened in '05 and 15. Maybe it was the evolution of EDM.
Yes.
And I think
That's
you're right.
it.
It was not only that, it was the DJ as the star
Yeah.
in that
Yes.
time. Certainly the
Yes.
DJ what became the star
Absolutely.
in
Yes.
'05
Yes.
and on. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That was it. So let's find out where
Yeah.
we're going in 25.
You had a remarkable track record, Eddie, and from discovering and producing over 90 mainstream hits,
Hmm.
including many of them you achieved gold and platinum status.
Hmm.
Can you share a remarkable story behind one of those hits?
Hmm. One of the most remarkable stories was John Travolta.
Oh,
We love John Travolta. We signed John. I co-founded a label in the 70s with Bob Reno, a man named Bob Reno, called Midland Records. We signed
oh,
John. We met him 24 hours before everybody else, I guess. We're just lucky that we just liked him.
wow.
We signed a deal
That's
with.
the name he had in the show, Barbarino,
That's right.
correct?
Yes. And
Yeah.
Bob Reno was my partner and the owner of Midland Records, Bob Reno. So somebody
Oh,
sent Vinny Barbarino, who's John
oh,
Travolta, to see
yes.
Bob Reno, and then I'm Bob's partner, so it brings me in. And we had hits. We had hits. He recorded on the Grease soundtrack, um, Sandy, Grease Lightning. We had all those records. A song called "Let Her In" went to number 8 on Midland
Oh,
Records. Monster hit records.
wow.
But then he decided he didn't want to sing any longer. He was really focused on acting. He never sang again after Grease soundtrack.
Oh,
That's kind of
he didn't
weird.
want to. Maybe he found his passion in acting.
He,
He did
he,
drop off for a minute, I think. I remember.
he was an actor, and he is an
Yes,
actor, and he became famously great, and he was famously
yes,
great before that. But his focus went on music. Went on acting
yes.
and not music, and that's unusual. That's the unusual thing. People don't realize John Travolta never made another record after his hits.
And you were involved in those all the records that he did in the beginning.
He was signed to us, absolutely.
Wow,
Yes, yes, we
amazing.
released. Yes, it's all in
Huh.
the history books. It's all documented.
uh, you signed one of the viral sensation, Emma Heasters. Am I
Yeah,
pronouncing her last name? Yeah, Emma Heasters in 2020.
yeah. We
Uh,
say Emma Heasters in Holland. They
yeah,
say Emma Hasters, but you and I are fine with Emma Heasters,
yes.
and we're in
Okay.
America now.
Is she from Holland? She's from Holland, correct?
She's a Dutch
Yeah.
language artist,
Yes.
and she's phenomenal. That's a crazy story. That's a story. A friend of mine, Bill Deutsch, sent me her music on YouTube, and my wife was not doing well,
Yeah.
suffering from a serious ovarian cancer diagnosis. So I
Sorry to
was
hear that.
yeah, that was not easy. So anyway, we were at Sloan Kettering. It's a famous hospital in New York City.
Hmm.
And I'm in the waiting room just waiting for my wife to be finished with chemo. My friend Bill sends Emma's music and a video of her. I thought she was fabulous. Thought she was great. Um, Called her manager the next morning. Taylor Jones is his name. Great guy. He's British, English guy. And we made a deal and released her record. So Emma is signed to us. My company is Eddie O Entertainment Republic.
Hmm.
And she signed to us for the world. And she has become a very successful star in Holland. She has one record, I think it's at 83 million streams on Spotify, and there's only 15 million people in the country, to give you an idea. So she has been consistent in making hit records for the past number of years. And in fact,
Hmm.
I'll see her next week in Holland.
And what's your
But
plan for the future? What's the plan
it's
for
the same
Emma?
plan. Try and find better records, always more records. I'd like to see her host the New Year's Eve show in Holland and see if we
Hmm.
branch out more. And she's taking more of an active role in television hosting as well because she has that personality. So there's a great future for her.
Great.
But that was an
Hmm.
unusual situation
Uh,
again.
Amazing. Throughout your journey in the music industry, and as we both know, that the music industry full of challenges and setbacks. Can you share a difficult moment that you faced in your career, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, I'm going to say June 15th, 1979. That's a difficult moment. That's a tough day in history. Two DJs in Chicago, Comiskey
Yeah.
Park, decide to do a radio promotion as a backlash against disco dance music.
Hmm.
On the radio, they ask everybody, all rockers, anybody who hates disco music, because it was getting a little everything. It was getting a little too much. I mean, Ethel Merman, she's an old singer from like 100,000 years ago. She even made a disco album. Stop!
Yes.
You're ruining this
Yes.
whole thing. So there
Yeah.
was a backlash, and everybody brought their disco records. They may have had 10,000, maybe 15,000 vinyl pieces of records, and they set them on fire and set a bonfire and blew them up with fireworks.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The next day, disco music was a dirty word after that in the United States. So you no longer heard the Bee Gees on radio. Gloria Gaynor was not on. Disco music was finished in
Wow.
America. And that was it. And that's when the Bee Gees started producing Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers and Barbra Streisand. They could no longer be the stars that they were, even though they were the same talented people. So for me, it was a time to be almost out of business because
Hmm.
I had signed the poster boy of disco, John Travolta, Saturday Night Fever, if you recall it, his movie.
Absolutely. Yes.
We had Silver Convention. We published Gloria Gaynor. I was producing Carol Douglas with Doctor's Orders, Midnight Love Affair, Silver. The hits went on and on and on of that genre. After June 15th, that's it. Nobody wanted to talk to me about music because
Wow.
I was considered part of a dead part of the commercial area of the business. That was very hurtful. And that took me
Mm.
5 years to claw back with hip hop in the signing of Salt-N-Pepa and DJ Red Alert and Paperboy, Ultramagnetics. Oh my God, what a great group. Still revered by people like Dr. Dre and The Weeknd.
DJ
So,
Alert was signed to you? I didn't know that.
which one?
DJ Alert.
Yeah, Red Alert was with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
Wow.
us, our label. Yeah, Next
Huh.
Plateau. Um, and who's the other one I just said? Ultramagnetics. Yeah.
Electromagnetic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were groundbreakers. Salt-N-Pepa, of course, get all the play. So that took 5, 6 years to get back in life again. They were very tough years, very tough, and we did it, but it
Wow.
was not easy.
Well, thank you for sharing. That is inspiring. Um, in your opinion, what's some of the common misconceptions that people have about the music industry?
That it's exciting and glamorous.
It's true. It is true. It is true. It is true. Yes. They
And
don't know the work that goes behind.
you and I know it's about
Yes.
hard work.
Yes.
It's glamorous occasionally when your artist is at a stadium or on a TV. Yeah, that's
Yes.
glamorous. That's
But
about
what the work that took to get to that stage, nobody knows.
endless, endless work,
Yes.
endless rejection, endless failure over and over and over, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times of failures to get the magic moment.
Yes. But what do? You keep getting up and keep going forward.
If you have passion for what you do, no matter what it
Yes.
is, doesn't have to be music, it could be anything. If you have
Anything.
passion for something, it's not work.
Yes.
It's can't wait to do it. I don't
Yeah,
care if you're an
absolutely.
auto mechanic. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you have passion for that, that's not work. That's you're driven, and that's a joy,
Yeah.
and you're very lucky. And I always ask people to do all their best. The young ones that I mentor, do your best to try and find something that you're really, really interested in. Really
Yes.
interested in, not make believe interest. That's luck, I guess, too, to be able to
Well,
do
this
that.
message is obviously for our listeners, the Soundbreakers, who wants to get into the music business, who want to be part of it. Definitely, these are good tips and good codes from
Well,
Eddie.
the last word is, okay, you have to be passionate,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you have to be in action. You have to be in
Yes.
action. You have to be out there to do
Yeah.
anything. Say yes to everything. I don't care if
And-
somebody at a studio says, we need a guy to sweep this floor this week.
Yeah. You do
Yes.
it.
Yes, because I
Yes.
might hear something. I might meet somebody there.
Yes.
Anyway,
Um, the music business is all about collaboration,
yeah.
and it's a key element in the music world.
Hmm.
Can you share a memorable collaboration with someone that you work with that left an impact on you?
Oh,
besides John Travolta and
no,
Jennifer
well,
Lopez and some of the others you mentioned?
the Salt-N-Pepa Herbie collaboration was phenomenal. I mean, we really
Yes,
worked very closely, record after record. What a Man, Shoop, Let's Talk About Sex. My
yes,
um, it was just a great run, but a lot of time, and it came from a lot of close collaboration, but also in business. In business, my
yes,
partner Janine Leclerc, brilliant at business, and so supportive, helping the creative community, um, recognizing that it's a business, but that we needed to try. We had to try and take risks. So
absolutely.
I've had great collaborations, including my wife. My wife, Kathy,
Great,
was an amazing collaborator. So,
definitely.
yep.
Um, Technology, I would say, has significantly changed the music landscape. And how have advancement in technology influenced your work and the music industry in as a whole?
The advancement in technology, there are no words. I mean, the fact that you and I are doing this remotely, um,
Yes.
that I can be listening to mixes in Norway 8 minutes after they just finished it. This is incredible. I mean, that was a 5 day process. Sending it in the mail. Did you get it yet? Expensive.
Yes, yes.
Technology it's been great, and at the same time, there are a lot of things not great, of course, either. Half the people in the world, they're not talking to each other anymore, just texting.
Because of technology.
By the way, they're sitting next to each other, so
Well,
whatever.
I mean, for the music business, as you know, which started with the eight
Uh,
tracks, the cassettes, the
yeah,
vinyl, to
yeah,
CDs, to
yeah,
digital download, then streaming. Download even is a passe.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
yes, yes, and more coming. Obviously, streaming platform now become
Mhm.
secondary after social media platforms. They could break hits like TikTok and
Mhm.
Instagram Reels and Shorts.
Yep, that's what it
Yeah.
is today.
Yes.
Unfortunately, sometimes that's all what it is. It's
Well,
really,
listen, Eddie, how do you
yeah.
keep yourself updated? I mean, to the latest trends and innovation after all these years. What new ways you find because of technology, obviously now, and
Well,
how important it is to continue to learn.
well, if you're interested in learning, people often ask me, "Why aren't you retired?" I'm too curious to retire. I want to know what's going on still. I was out at Ultra Records music publishing party on Wednesday night, mingling
Yeah.
a lot of people, getting new information. Tomorrow night at 1 in the morning, I'll be at a club called Somewhere Nowhere, seeing a DJ that we just signed called PS1 and Jex. I'll
Uh
be
huh.
there 1:30 in the morning on 25th Street and 12th Avenue, seeing what's going on. I'm interested. Now I'm going to be exhausted on Sunday, but it's worth it. It's worth it to me. So yes, I'm very actively interested in what's moving. I'll be in Holland next week at the Global Electronic Dance Music Convention.
ADA, that's right. Is that
AD,
ADA? Yes.
yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
ADE. I'll be there. I want to know what's going on. I want to know what's happening. The moment I don't
Great.
want to know, that's the time that I don't know what happens at that point. I haven't gotten there yet. So
Well, you got to keep carrying on. I love what you're doing.
thank you, Bob. Thank
You know,
you.
I have decided to create this podcast because I came across tremendously inspiring stories throughout my 25 plus years in the business.
Mm,
So I wanted to inspire others like myself who had a very unique career
hmm
path.
hmm
Many of our listeners are also seeking a breakthrough,
hmm
the noise
mm,
and succeed in this gatekeeping or
mm.
gatekept, I would say.
Yeah, gate kept
Uh,
business. Yeah.
yes, very saturated. Can you
Mm.
share some maybe insights on or strategies how individuals can navigate through these challenges, especially the gatekeeping?
Well, it goes back to what I said a few moments ago. Be as active in any area you can get in. College radio station, get there, be there, help out, volunteer, intern wherever you can. Sometimes intern at any place you can. A small production company with two people, go there, be part of that. Columbia Records may not need you, but some a small company, may, and you can learn a lot. It goes back to that, just being in action and connect any way you possibly can.
Great, great. These absolutely valuable insights, Eddie, and I'm sure our listeners will find them very incredibly helpful.
Hmm.
Very incredibly helpful. Absolutely.
Uh,
Before we wrap up, is there anything, any projects that you're working on, you want to plug in, you want to talk about, anything that upcoming that's,
We have a dance record that I'm really enthusiastic about. Worked on it for 13 months. It's by a DJ named PS1. He's had some great success previously. He's joined up with an artist that's signed to us called Jex, and they have a great record coming out called Same Old Song. Comes out November 10th. It's about a month or so away, and it's exciting being part of the pre-setup of this to see how we can see this at TikTok and Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and to see what the reaction is. But it's a great record, and let's see if people agree.
great. Well, unfortunately, good things come to an end. I'm sure we'll do this again. Thank you for joining us. And this concludes today's episode of Soundbreaker. Please make sure to follow us on social media and stay tuned for the new episode. See ya.
Thank you.
This podcast is presented by Music Dash, world's first AI-powered independent distribution CMS. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to share the Soundbreaker podcast. And if you are joining us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.